Welcome to C10 Talk, your C10 Truck podcast. Here's your host, Ronnie Welch.
Happy New Year, C10 Nation. Little stretch there, out of nowhere. Good stuff. C10 Nation 2019 is upon us, and sat down, got some recordings already in the books, which is cool to get that done. Looking at my notes, we got a lot of fun stuff planned for 2019 and no shortage of guests. So that's a good thing for both you and I. And hopefully we can bring you some kick-ass killer interviews, and we'll keep doing what we're doing. So how about a little less editing? I think I've told you I'm going to do that. I keep saying that and making a little less work for me. But let's get right to it. So what are we looking to do for 2019? A few more contests, some of the fun stuff I want to do, kind of like give away more shirts, more swag, more hats, more stickers, stuff like that. I actually think I'm going to make a one-off shirt that will have the sponsors that are behind me, which essentially are behind you, and we'll do a one-off shirt, and then the only way you'll get those shirts is through some different giveaways that we're going to do. We've already done 2 for the year and given out some shirts, so it's kind of fun just to give back to not only the C10 Nation, but just kind of get some audience participation and have some fun with it. So some of the different things that I've been thinking about, if you guys have a fun segment or a radio show style of thing that you think would be fun, hit me up and let me know. Ronnie at C10 Talk. Ronnie at C10 Talk. What I want to do is one, for example, that I've been thinking about is kind of Ronnie's rant, which isn't necessarily going to be just me, but I'm going to do, there'll be on the homepage at C10 Nation, there will be a little toggle, a little switch. You hit it, and then you just yap away, and you can let us know what you're fired up about. Let us know what you're thinking. If you're pissed off at us, if you're pissed off at me, if you're pissed off at the C10 Nation, if you're happy, if you're glad, if you're sad, just kind of vent. You know, venting is good. So I'm assuming the first thing is, well, what the hell are you going to rant about? Well, I have a few things, but so I would say, for example, a rant that I would do is I would probably do something like this, where I would say, dudes, millennials, look it up. Google it. Google.com. Look it up. Go to, I'd say a library, but then that shows you how old I am. Really, go to the forums. Go to 6772chevy.com. Maybe you don't know about it, but I get a lot of DMs and a lot of messages where people, I guess my rant would be that they don't even say like, yo, what's up? I listened to the show. Please and thank you. They just say random shit like, hey, man, I've got a 76 that I'm trying to do this on. What's your thoughts? Or, well, how do I fix it? You know, how do I fix it? And it's just like, dude, there's no like, fluff me a little bit, bro. I mean, something to where it's like, I listened to this show and this was this and this was that. What do you think about this? Dude, I will help people. It's somewhat disrespectful or unconsiderate of people's time, you know, and I think that's the way that the world moves. I know we talk a lot on social media, Instagram, DM, Facebook, emails, but sometimes these guys will just hit me up, or I'm sure they do the same to a lot of you guys. It's like, go to the forum. I wish I had an absolute auto reply where it was like, go to these forums and look it up and do some due diligence, because sometimes it's loaded questions. Like, it's like, well, there's so many parameters that have to be in that question that I don't know the answer. And unfortunately, I just don't have the time. And the time comes down to the sender or the wanter and what they can do. So they can get online. And for me, that's where I learned a lot. And we all have to learn. So I understand that point of it. But, you know, invest in yourself and have some skin in the game, and you'll learn a lot. And you might come across some cool people and some people that'll help you. And that's what the forums have been great for. So 67 to 72 ChevyTrucks.com is probably going to be if not the most information that you can get on C10 trucks anywhere. I'd be surprised if I was wrong on that one. So there's my rant. There's my sample. If you got something, sound off. If it's good and, it's play worthy, then I'm going to put you on air. If I put you on air and I record it and I have it, again, it's going to record it on the website. It'll send us a link and then we'll have it. If we put you on air, you're getting a voucher for a free shirt or a free hat or whatever. So what I'm doing in the meantime is I'm not just going to send you a shirt. I'm going to send you a coupon code. You're going to then go online and you're going to get whatever the hell you want. So if you want a shirt, you can have it. If you want a hat, you can have it. I don't care. So I've got a lot of cool gear. You want it? That's the way I can give back. So that's what I'd like to do. Come up with some fun type interactive contests. I talked to Sam Castronovo when he was over, and we came up with some fun stuff. So look for that in the future, and that's my plan. Oh, let's see here. Another one I'm looking forward to. Okay, got that one. So the thing that we're going to work on this month right now primarily for the rest of January is the C10 Nation C10 of the year. What that is going to be is about, late in 2018, I reached out to some dudes, and I'll give you kind of an idea here. We've got some Cali, AZ, Texas, Mississippi, Alabama, Pittsburgh, Canada. I don't know if that was 10, but I got 10 dudes that I reached out to and said, here's what I'm thinking. Would you like to be involved? So then what we did is I submitted to them, or I requested of them. I said, please get back to me with, 5 to 15 trucks that you felt like either made your heart skip a beat, inspired you, something that you just said that's a rad truck. So they did that. And at that point, who knows, the list was, obviously there were some common trucks, but the list was heavy. We got it down to like 40. And then from there, what I did is I put those 40 trucks into kind of an Excel spreadsheet, sent it back to them and said, okay, here's the 40 trucks that we got it down to, which is a good thing. We have 40 trucks that inspired us or that we loved and thought were worthy of at least making the top ballot for the C10 Nation C10 of the year. So where did we come up with that? That's going to be essentially summer 17, and then you're going to hit prime time when you hit SEMA 17, and then those trucks carry throughout, because you got to think most trucks primarily, literally out of the top 10, I think 8 of the trucks were debuted at SEMA 17. So let's jump up to the summer. So summer, let's say, April, but for sure June, July. If you're in that time frame, then you work up to SEMA, and then you work your way all the way up to the next SEMA. So there could be some crossover in 2018. For example, a truck unveils itself in the summer of 18, and then another truck, so there's some crossover there because it's early for what would be 2019's C10 of the year. I know that's kind of confusing, but the bottom line is for the most of 2018, these trucks were out all the way up to SEMA, because once SEMA drops, SEMA 18, now those trucks are considered for what we're going to look at for for the C10 of the year for 2019. So we narrowed it down to 10 trucks. And the way that I did that was just a voting, okay, 1 to 10, and we'll keep track of it. And so 10 trucks were picked, and it was close at the end. There was a couple that were pretty close. And actually, funny, I made a mistake. One guy would be more of a 2017 C10 of the year, and we kind of lumped him in there. And right at the end, it was caught, and I had to send him an email. I'm like, dude, I apologize. But what's cool about that is another guy got bumped in there. So that was somewhat of a mistake on our end and my end, but we fixed it. So we have 10 trucks that have been chosen for the top 10. And from there, they will hopefully go live today on the website, c10nation.com, and you can go in and vote. So I hope you will. And I'm working on a cool trophy plaque thing with GSI right now. Scott over at GSI, those guys do killer work. Obviously, they do a lot of billet and machining. And so I thought, who else should I reach out to about making an award, a C10 Nation C10 of the Year award for 2018? And already we're thinking about 2019. So if you get a chance, head over to c10nation.com and please vote. And I think we'll have a lot of fun. And every single one of these trucks that's picked in the top 10 are rad-ass, killer builds, good dudes, good stories. The trucks are cool, but the people are cooler, and these guys are right in there, and we're lucky to have such a great group of trucks and people to pick from, and somebody's going to be the top truck. So let's see who it is, and I think it's important for you to have a voice, the C10 Nation. You guys are everywhere. That's why I kind of went broad, and I picked a lot of different people from all over the country, and like I said, including Canada, because I feel like to get that, here in the Southwest, I mean, we have a ton of trucks, but I don't see every truck that's out there. So it's very important for us to make sure we diversify, because there's rad trucks all over the U.S. and that's why I felt like it was really important to kind of spread that out. So C10 Nation, C10 of the Year 2018. Let's find out what you guys think. Get online, c10nation.com. All right, hopefully that wasn't too much. Think about 2019, if you will, because that's going to come up quick, and we're going to be doing the same thing. The trucks that have already been released in 2018 are primarily, you're going to be your SEMA trucks, and who's out there. So right around the corner for us, we have Barrett Jackson coming up in Phoenix, Scottsdale. So there are some killer C10s that are out there. That's going to be fun. I was able to sit down with Cheyenne Lord the other day, this week, and I think Monday, and interview him. So he'll be next up. So I reached out to Cheyenne last year, and now that truck, just to kind of put a name with a truck, that's the Sparks Motors. That's the diesel truck, the C10 that they built on Diesel Brothers. So that truck is going to go up for sale at Barrett Jackson on Saturday. River City camper, the River City mullet truck, which is also made the cut for the top 10. It will go Saturday as well, Barrett Jackson. So Barrett Jackson, keep your eyes peeled. It's fun to see if the trucks are popular, which they are, then you're going to see a lot more trucks at Barrett Jackson. So it's kind of, we've noticed that as SEMA the last 3-4 years, you're seeing, more and more C10s, which means more and more C10s are going to be for sale, Chevy trucks at Barrett Jackson, because they're popular and people are sinking a lot of money into them, and they want to make money and they want to sell them and kick ass. So interview with Cheyenne Lord will be next week. Look forward to that one. That's already, in the books. I've recorded it. Now I got to sit down and go through it, but that'll be a good one. Now, another episode that I've already recorded and is probably to my point right now in my C10 time frame, one of the coolest interviews that I've been able to do is a guy by the name of Paul Hitch. Now, I interviewed Paul, right at the end of the year. I think it was December 26th. We actually were thinking about doing it on the 24th. His son was with him, and so we worked together. We've been working on that for a few months now, actually, more than that, probably 6 months to make this happen. Paul Hitch is 101. He will be 102 this year. Paul Hitch was the chief engineer of Chevrolet trucks from 1965 to 1976. Paul Hitch is a rad dude. Paul Hitch is somebody who is still very well with it and kicking ass. I literally talked to him today. We Skyped today. I look forward to talking to him, having a continuing relationship with him, and he has a lot of knowledge, a lot of stories, and he sent me some stuff of some engineers that he had working with him. Now the interview will drop later this month. I'm trying to get a hold of some GM people to kind of splice in there with that interview, because GM went out in 2018 and interviewed Paul. So I want to try to get some stuff, whether that's some segments from that interview, or even talk to the guy, Eric, who interviewed Paul, and see if I can maybe get 5 or 10 minutes of his time, and then put together somewhat of a history episode. So I've already got the wheels turning that way, to get a GM guy, to get Eric if we can. If you guys have some history guys out there, if you have somebody that of that I can reach out and interview, I will do that. I promise you. The way that I got this guy's information, Mr. Paul Hitch, was from a listener. And without you guys, the C10 Nation, some of these interviews just wouldn't happen. It's a lot of work. And if you point me in the right direction, I'll prove to you that I'll do the due diligence. It's just a little bit of help along the way makes a big difference. I know there's a guy from the forum, speaking of the forum, 1967 to 72 Chevy trucks. I think his name's Keith. I've seen him post. I've looked through some of the history stuff, and I see him. It looks like he was on the assembly line or involved with what's going to be your 81 to 87 trucks. And I reached out to him numerous times on the forum, Facebook. I talked to Liz, who is the wife who runs the forum. And boy, I'm striking out nonstop. So I don't know if Keith just doesn't want to talk or if maybe he's not getting the information. I've sent him messages. I'll continue. If you guys will, help me along the way, that'd be great. I'd be honored to reach out to these guys and see what we can find out, because every day that goes on, it's going to be harder and harder to get either a hold of these guys. And I mean, let's face it, they're getting older. We're all getting older. So if you have any leads or any thoughts on anybody who either designed trucks, rendered trucks, worked on trucks, anything with, C10 era trucks, let me know. I'd love to hook up with them. Hooking up with people. Let's talk about some of these shows that are coming up for 2019. So you've got LST in late February. We are going to do the eastbound and down to the throwdown. I just don't have the time lately because I'm working on the remodel to get out as much stuff eastbound and down, but I'm going to take Yellowstone. I didn't think I was, but that'll be good because get a little shakedown, and then I've got the 4L80 and I've got the throttle body, and I can see what kind of fuel mileage that thing's going to get this time around. So that is the plan, eastbound and down to the throwdown. If you're interested, get with me, get with John Orrell, get with somebody who's going, and we see if we can't hook up. I'll try to get some information out about hotels and the route and so on and so forth. I do not see us going up to Dallas. We did that one year, and then last year because of weather and just not knowing if the guys we were going to meet up in Dallas, we did a cruise down. This year, it just seems a lot easier for us to go right from Phoenix, spend the night halfway, and then just work our way right down to Conroe, which is just north of Houston. So that'll be the plan again in 2019, eastbound and down to the throwdown. April, the Mississippi boys have their crawfish fry. We're going to head over there. I'm going to take Mama over there. That's April 6th. The following weekend in Texas, you got the Classic Truck Nationals. That's going to be in Waxahachie. So that's kind of like C10s in the park, but they opened it up to Ford, Dodge, International, and of course Chevrolet. So that's going to be in April. May, you've got the C10 Nationals and Battle in Bama and LS Fest West. So those are all going to be, I think, the exact same weekend, which is that May 3rd and 4th. Good luck picking on that. C10 Nationals is in Texas. Battle in Bama is in Bama. And then LS Fest West is in Vegas. So a lot to choose from, pretty much from all over the United States on that one. July, you could go up to Canada. We did that for the first one. That's July 1st was the is their Independence Day. So we'll have to see if that's right, when it's going to be that same time frame, I believe. So I think first part of July in Canada. And then mid-July, you're going to have the Tennessee, the GM Truck Nationals that Brian Ashley puts together. That's probably, I think it is the biggest C10 show out there on the kind of the east, or if you want to look at the south, however that kind of shakes out for Tennessee. September, you've got C10, the C10 Intervention, which is up in Auburn, California, NorCal. They did their first one last year, and it was the same weekend. I think it was the Sunday after C10's in the trailer park. So this year they're going to do it a weekend before. So C10's C10 Intervention in Auburn, C10's in the park in Waxahachie, which is, I think that's the 15th-ish, right, mid-September. November, you've got SEMA and then Dino's. So much already on the docket. Look at if you can make one of those. I've already told a few people, really start thinking about Dino's 10-year anniversary, which is going to be 2020. So not this year, but next year. I'm thinking that's going to be the biggest, the baddest, the C10 party of the year. Dino's Get Down, 10-year anniversary, 2020. I believe it's 2020. All right, so I've got a couple interviews done. I've got a couple talking about the shows. I think we're good. I think you probably listened to me ramble along enough. And let's see, episode of the year, Sammy. So Sammy came in, Sam Castronovo, the one, the only, man. I think we're going to try to do something with Sam this year where he can just come in and we can do stories with Sam, because Sam definitely has a face for radio, but he is an amazing storyteller. We have great chemistry, and he's a personal, just one of the best dudes, and I'm honored to call him my friend. we've met through the trucks. It's cool to meet some of these like-minded guys and some of the different stories. But getting Sammy in here is always fun. He came in, he sat down, and we talked about just an update with him. Now, the voting, thank you guys for who voted. I want to continue to do this. We'll have the C10 episode, C10 Talk episode of the year for 2019 as well. I do have somebody else making me a little bit better award. I thought the first one, the horse's ass trophy, who better, to give that to Sam. Plus, I wanted it a little quicker, so I was able just to go down to my trophy shop close here in Chandler and grab that. It was a no-brainer. So I was able to get that award, give it to Sam. 2019, I'll do it again. It'll be based off of you guys and your voting. It was a no-brainer. I'll be honest with you. I try to stay unbiased, but Sam's episode was easily the best episode of 2018, and Sam's ability to tell stories and the history and some of the fun that goes on with the scene. Sam's able to bring that, and just very jubilantly through to us, and it's fun doing that. So I will say that the voting was pretty clear that Sam won. Dino was right behind him within reason. Excuse me, and then Stacy David and Brandon Cisco. So I would agree with those. Probably right about that. How those episodes kind of came through. And again, I think it's cool that you guys are sitting down, you're voting, and you're let us know what episodes you like. The one thing that I think I was a little more surprised about the voting was that you guys actually really dig when I go out to the shows and I'm interviewing just random dudes about their trucks. Some of the response from the Eastbound and Down, which is more, us screwing around, having fun on the way. But even some of the other shows like Dino's Get Down, Brothers, and some of the shows that I go to, take the mic, take the recorder, you guys are digging those. They actually voted out pretty well. So that's cool. Let me know. I mean, through those numbers, I'm saying that you guys dig that. So I'll keep doing that as long as I can keep my voice. So that's it. That's all I have for the intro 2019 episode. I'm sure there's so many more things that I'd love or I'll forget. I try to write stuff down and tell you. I've got a few ideas, a good amount of ideas of things I'd like to do to kind of have fun with it on 2019. I keep wanting to say 2018 and 2019. I've reached out to our sponsors. The majority of them have gotten back to me, so they're all on board. I mean, for the most part, they're on board. And we'll just keep cranking on. If you guys have any comments, questions, concerns, you know where to get me. Ronnie at C10 Talk. Ronnie at C10 Talk. Take a chance to get out there and vote for the C10 Nation C10 of the year 2018. Again, always let me know what you're thinking. And here's Sammy. Here's our sit down. Again, this was something that I thought would be a 5-minute acceptance speech turns into easy half hour. It's not hard with Sam. So hope you guys enjoy it. Have a great week and Happy New Year. Late. All right, C10 Nation. Special guest in studio 2019, kicking it off right, just like we did in 2018. Right. Sam Castronovo. I told him to come over tonight, and I was like, hey, here's the deal. I got an award for you. He shows up, best episode 2018, voted by you, none other than the C10 Nation. And the thing about Sammy, if you remember the episode, he likes those funky, fresh beats. So who else? Let's see what you got, Sammy. I got a little something for you.
It's good to be here, Ronnie.
I know you like the award tour.
I
you
do.
Got the Tribe Called Quest.
Yeah.
Let's see what you got. Let's see what
little
you got.
Theme music. I like this.
Bust it out. Bust it out.
Bust out what?
Bust out some rhymes.
What, you want me to do my acceptance speech in a freestyle rap?
Rhymes for dimes.
Now look, I'm the best talker, but am I the best rapper of the C10 Nation?
I think so. Let him have it. Let him have it.
All right, okay. All right, shit. Let me put my hat backwards real quick. On a World War tour with Ronnie, my man. I got a 6-inch horse's ass in my hand. So people give you ears cause I be sublime. I got a few peeps to thank before I run out of time. Joe Yezzy for screwing me on that 62 caddy. Delmo for being my C10 sugar daddy. Dino for introducing me to the game. Blake Stoner for all my SEMA fame. My pops, RIP for giving me love for these cars. And of course, to my girls for letting me shoot for the stars. But hold on, C10 Nation, I'm almost there. I gotta thank this nerd Ronnie for putting me on air.
Oh,
come on, son.
Hold on. Mic drop. Mic drop. We got something to drop. Mic drop.
Drop something.
Sammy Sells never disappoints. Oh,
my
God.
You think you're going to put this horse's ass award to waste?
Dude.
This is ridiculous.
What
this is
do you
great.
think about the horse's ass?
I love it. And it's so small. It's like It's almost like the horse's ass is already as insulting enough, but then it's a small award. There's nothing worse than a small trophy.
Listen. I know you have such big trophies at your house that I didn't want it to cloud.
This is the same size.
Take up so much shelf space.
Wait a second. It's all full circle.
Yeah, you know what that's the same size.
Do you know in kindergarten? No. In kindergarten, I won a coloring contest. It was put on by the local fire department. And it was an award this size. And here I am.
That's the same
in my
award.
40s.
Yeah, they left
in my 40s, another firefighter.
They left that at the
full
fire
circle.
Station. And I thought, who better else to get the horse's ass award than Sam?
And I think it was a horse's ass. 1976.
Who else could step up? Funky Fresh. Sammy does it again. You guys voted, and I'm telling you, man,
awesome.
Rhymes for dimes.
This is awesome. This is my favorite award, man. Forget all this crap on trucks.
So you guys got to hear this. So I make a horse's ass award for Sam because I knew who the recipient was going to be at that point. I have an actual C10 Talk award for you, and I think you'd rather have that.
I would rather have the horse's ass.
Well, you're going to get it. So
it's the first time I got an award for talking.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Oh no, I do a lot of talk. You shouldn't encourage it. No, I'm not gonna build any more trucks. I'm just gonna keep talking.
I think those are all false statements. You're going to keep talking and you're going to keep building trucks.
That's true.
So what a banner year. Here, let me turn off the music. Thank you, A Tribe Called Quest and Sam. We're gonna take it out.
Award tour, nice choice,
dude. We're in the house. Of course, I knew you would step it up. I think I sent you a picture of this the other day. I mean, we're freezing, by the way. You guys would think in Arizona, we've got the heater on. We're up in the studio. You think it would be like 40 below because we're all a bunch of freaking pussies, I guess, because it's cold here. But I did
freezing my horse's ass off.
I know. I asked Sam to come over, and I'm like, dude, come over and get this award, and we'll do a little in-studio chat about. So, best episode 2018. 2018, I mean, really 2017. You take C- to SEMA. The thing that I remember about the episode that was so much fun for me was I just literally called Sam and I'm like, dude, I got my stuff. I'm in your hood, like in the vicinity. Let's hook up. We pull up. We do it in the garage. He fires up C-. That was the theme music. And I think the key for you is the story it's always on point, and you are a storyteller.
Oh, and you know me. I've got tons of stories. It's because life to me is just a combination of stories. It's just like everything that happens is a story, and it just sticks with me, and that's what I remember. And whether it's a car story, whether it's a family story, whether it's a friend story, it's just kind of what it's all about. And being able to, share a couple of them with you guys is great.
So what do you think, like, what's your response been? Because I don't feel like... I wonder what it's like, I should say, to be on the other end where, for example, I probably get, I don't know, maybe one a week of guys reaching out to me. Hey, I'm a truck driver. I work in the shop. I do this, and I really enjoy your show and what you're bringing to the community. What was it like? Because I feel like the response that I got was overwhelming how much people enjoyed your episode and the stories that got to know a guy who they really just thought was, a guy who built some trucks, was in the, Phoenix scene, knows Dino, knows Joe, and then most importantly told me not to do the podcast.
I did tell you not to. I think I'm still, my advice to you now is still don't do this podcast. Actually, don't even it might embarrass myself. Honestly, what's funny is I love doing trucks because you get the feedback. You get real feedback at car shows and on social media. Guys love them or they don't, or it's a great way to meet new people. But after that episode dropped, it's an overwhelming response at car shows, at events, at SEMA. I'm meeting new guys and they're coming up and they're like, "Oh man, I love that," and it's almost like they know me. They're like, "Oh, I loved you on the C10 talk. Man, I can't believe you got screwed on that Cadillac," or etc. And I get DMs all the time, like, "Oh, hey, by the way, I love that episode. I just listened to it."
You really do?
I do, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
That's good.
It's pretty good response, which means you actually have more than 10 listeners.
Yeah, we thought it was Mike 15. I went from the C10 to the GMC 15. That was what I was shooting for, but these guys give a hard time. But it's crazy because for me, I wanted to do the podcast to get the behind the story of the build and the truck. Mm-hmm. And I think with you, and honestly, for the part that I haven't listened to the show in a while, I do sometimes go back and listen to shows. The part about like you and your dad and growing up, and just like you said, you talk about your dad, you talk about your girls, and I know you not only as the C10 guy, but you know, the man who has girls, the life outside of the truck world. And it's important, I think, at times to kind of dive into that and get into those stories. And that's what's so crazy about the life that we live and bringing these stories to the forefront within reason and exposing people to what, you know, who you are.
Well, look, you know, I'm really lucky because, you know, I'm lucky because a normal, when you're a 40-year-old man who's a father, you know, you're usually focused on going to work, and then providing for your family, and then going to work, providing for your family. And I've been real lucky to where on the weekends, I can go to work, provide for my family, but on the weekends, I can hang out with some friends. I got some great friends. And then at nights, I can go in the garage and I can work on some trucks. I got some great trucks. And then, you know, and then I can go on social media and I can start seeing some of my friends and some of the trucks. And it's just this world that has just made life more pleasurable, so much more fun for just an old guy.
Yeah.
You know? And at the same time, you know, being a father and a good husband is still the most important thing, you know? And believe me, as you know, you and I've hung out in the past. I got tons of stories about that. Yeah. You know?
But I think one thing that makes success for you or the whole thing is that you take it all kind of with a grain of salt. You're not like, I'm the C10 guy, I'm Sam, the best episode. I know you do, but you don't. Like, It all comes down to life is fun. We're blessed. You're blessed. You create a lot of things. You've got a side guy who obviously is pretty influential in helping you along the way. You got Rob and what Rob, the chair famous, what he's been able to do. And I think that the whole team, and I'll tell you, for the audience right now, you're literally listening to two guys who were made for radio when it comes to our looks. And I'm looking at Sam, and if anybody who's got the look down for radio, it's going to be Sam, and then I'll take a close second to that one.
Well, what's funny is I don't know, when I look at Ronnie, I don't know if I'm looking at my horse's ass award or if I'm looking at Ronnie's head. It's
well, there you go. Now when
I actually thought this was an award. I thought this was a picture of you, and I'm like, wow.
It's a selfie.
Wow, who would give me a selfie as a trophy?
I sent it to the trophy shop. I took a selfie, and I'm like, listen, this guy resembles this horse's ass, so I want the horse's ass to go to Sam.
Yeah, this is believe it or not, as funny as it is, it's an honor. Good. It's an honor. I get to tell all my guys, all my buddies that you built some great trucks, but guess what? I got the best episode of 2018.
That's right. So what's the one thing that you have going on is you've got the boxes, and then what do you see going on with not only the boxes, but what's another build? I know you got the superintendent. Yeah. You've got Palo, which is a truck Palo that Verde, you pushed out a little bit, and then you took it back. So you've got a lot of things going on right now since we sat down and talked last.
Yeah, a lot of things going on all the time. You know, I acquired the Johan brand and partnered with Brian Stupsky, and we kind of created some model car boxes, and it was a great opportunity.
So time out. Johan, explain to the audience what that means, because I think a lot of, for me, I'm thinking like, it's, I don't know how you say it, Ertl or whatever. Yeah. I think of like Thomas, I think of the paints I used to get, but Johan, testers, testers. I don't.
If the 5-second version is if you understand model cars go back to the 50s. And Johan was a company that was in Detroit, and his job was to make plastic demo models, promo models for the dealers. And from there, he started making model car kits, and he's one of the first companies that was making model car kits. And of course, we grew up in an era where we didn't have cell phones. What did we do? We built model cars. That's what I did in the 70s. But they've kind of died off. Well, looking back, as a matter of fact, I was at a lowrider show not too long ago, and I saw that there's just this underground world of these model car builders. These guys are still building cool stuff, which made me just interested. So I went on eBay and I started looking, and I came across some Johan models, which are old 50s, 60s custom car models. And it made me want to actually build one again, but I'm a 46-year-old man, Ronnie. I'm not going to build a model car. But what I do like is I almost wanted to collect them. So anyways, make a long story short, I start looking into that brand, and fast forward, I really end up kind of taking over the trademark and the domain. And now we have, not that I want to do model cars, but what I wanted to do was I wanted to recreate model car boxes. And when I pitched it to Brian Stupsky, he was like, I'm in. I would love to design some of these. So we didn't know what to do with it, but we figured let's make some model car boxes. And then I got lucky because SSO2 was getting ready to launch at SEMA. And Joe found out about my boxes. He's like, dude, would you make one and we'll put a t-shirt in it? And that was kind of where that went.
Well, Brian Stupsky, for the audience, is going to be Problem Child Customs. He's also the guy who is behind probably the most desired and famous shirts in the scene, which is going to be the Get Down design. So when you think about some of the artwork there, and I know that you've used him for some of your renderings and some of your artwork, C- as of late, he was involved with that. And then Angelo, I like the Game Changers thing. You guys, I've got the box for the audience. I've got the box. I've got both boxes. I've got the SSO2 box and I've got the Angelo box. How's the response been? I mean, it's
the response
so cool.
has been phenomenal. The idea was we like to, as a grown man, I like the boxes, but I'm not going to build a model. So what am I doing? I want and I love all the shirts. I buy everybody's shirts. So it's just, the idea was it was a way for me to be able to have a model car box as a grown man and collect it and justify the box on the shelf because maybe there's a t-shirt in it that's tied to it. So that's really what it was. We'd love to next year. Or this year, we'd love to do some more, but financially it's pretty expensive, between the artwork and getting the boxes printed. So I don't know what we're going to do with it, but we definitely had a great time helping promo the launch of SSO2 and then the Angelo box. Some way to keep that truck alive.
Well, and I think, like you said, I'm looking at both of my boxes here, and I think a little bit like the pod, we're giving the story about things that go on behind the scenes. We're bringing it to the forefront. I think with the Game Changers and the Johan boxes that you have created, the t-shirt boxes, it kind of continues the story. Right here, you've got a story about Angelo. Angelo has been imitated but never duplicated, and it was kind of the forefront, the godfather, ironically enough, of the service bed trucks, the scene. And then since then, you've seen over a dozen of these style of trucks, and it's one of those things where I've told you this before. You're almost cool too soon. You're like Z Cavaricci's.
Hold on.
I know you probably have a pair.
Wait a second.
And you're riding your GT
Dude, we need to recreate the Z Cavaricci's.
No, we don't.
Oh, no. Okay.
No, we're not going to do that. Maybe Dracar Nor or something like that. You can bust that out. Swatch watch. If we could do swatch watches, I'd probably still make those.
We could definitely do some.
But I've got both of them. I do think the collection of the boxes, I think Yellowstone needs a box.
Yellowstone does need a box.
We need to hook up on that.
Yeah, so we'll figure it out. The one thing is a lot of guys were saying, well, how come we don't have a model car in it, a model car kit? Well, the reason being is that's about $250,000 for engineering, design, the plastic work, the licensing. So model cars that's just not going to happen. The boxes are cool. They're collectible. Putting t-shirts in them is fun. And we might continue to do a couple more this year.
What do you think about doing just the boxes? Have you had anybody reach out and say,
no.
Hey, the shirts are cool, but I want to start collecting the boxes?
No, we haven't. We've got great feedback. We blew a ton of them out just by doing a little social media post. But no, we haven't. I mean, well, I don't know what to do with them this year, honestly. I'm kind of open to some ideas.
So I think there's a limited number available still of both the SSO2 and Angelo. You can go on to johan.com. It's the J-O-dash JO-HAN.com, and then Square Body Syndicate sells there. So if you want the SSO2, that's on Square Body Syndicate's website. So now let's talk a little bit about Palo. You were
Palo Verde.
Palo Verde, which is such a cool truck. It's got the big block. You were getting ready to bring it to the get down.
Well, I got to give you the story about Palo Verde because once again, you know, it all comes down to the story. So Palo Verde is the most beautiful patina square body cab I have ever seen. And
that's been shot with shotcrete? Or, I mean,
well, it was a shotcrete truck.
Yeah.
So, but here's how it goes. So one day, Joe sends me a text, and on it is the picture of this cab. It's just a cab with the most beautiful door art, patina, etc. And I'm like, I need that. He goes, it's mine. I bought it. Blah blah blah. And I'm like, hold on, what's the deal? And he goes, it's just the cab. And I'm like, oh shoot, just the cab. So come to find out is that's it. The guy, it was a concrete truck. The guy scrapped the truck, but even he thought at the time that the truck itself, the cab was cool. So he took the cab and the front end, he stored it away in a junkyard, and that's where it sit. And Square Body Syndicate got their hands on the truck. And once again, if you remember our last episode, I think I mentioned the backstop. So the backstop is look, I don't know what you're going to do with that truck, but I want that thing if you don't want it. So I get a call a couple weeks later, and he goes, yeah, he goes, it's too much for me to deal with. He's like, if you want Palo Verde, you can have it. Done. So we cut a deal. After the deal, I instantly had buyer's remorse. And the reason being is I don't know if you guys know, but I have a house in a suburb with an HOA. I don't have a shop. I got a 3-car garage. That's what I got.
Full of trucks.
With 6 cars.
Yeah. 6 cars.
And, well, now I bought this cab and a front end. No frame, no truck, no motor, no bed, no nothing. A cab and a front end. Sheet metal. So Joe starts sending me text messages like, dude, you got to get this thing out of here. You got to get this thing out of here. Finally, I'm like, well, get it out where? What am I going to do with the cab? Look at it. I wanted the truck, but what am I going to do with it?
I thought it comes with 6 months storage.
So finally, I get upset to the point where I'm like, Joe, I can't take it. Keep the truck. Keep the truck. Keep the money. Forget it. I mean, it's a beautiful piece of art. But the first thing I'm worried about is how do I explain to my wife when she goes out to the side of the house to put the trash out? How do I explain a cab?
No, there was a post, right? Either you or Sharon posted it.
I posted it. And then her response is a good example of what her reaction was when that happened. Well, anyway, so now I got a cab. And here's what's funny about this story, because I've got a cab that cost me a few $100s. Now, the smart thing to do was just get rid of it. But no, you know this about me. I gotta finish what I start. So I've got a cab. Now I'm forced to build a truck. So the missing part about this is what do you do without a bed? Well, I figure I'll worry about that. I send Delmo a text and I'm like, hey, any chance you come up with another truck frame, or whatever, let me know. I need a frame. He goes, matter of fact, I've got one that I'm finishing up. I was going to sell it. If you want it, we'll do a deal. And I'm like, okay, that's mine. I'll take it. So now I got a cab and I got a frame. Okay, life is good. I still don't have a bed. So I start getting these parts and stressing out because what am I going to do? I've got a beautiful frame. I got a beautiful cab and I got no bed. Oh, and by the way, the front end doesn't come with a hood. It's 2 fenders. So just looking and looking for a few months for some sort of a bed, a white patina bed. And not to get into a long story, but we're in Pomona and I come across a white short bed, original patina truck, which is now the Superintendent. When I see the truck, I'm like, I got to buy that because I need the hood and the bed. I buy the Superintendent just for the hood and the bed. Get the Superintendent home and realize I can't take this truck apart for a hood and a bed.
Which also has pretty cool door art.
It does have good door art because it was a Nevada Department of Agriculture truck.
But still pretty cool.
Right. And at that point, it was also when Brother JD calls me and asks me if I want to do the
Wrench
show,
Wars.
the Wrench Wars show, and I'm like, you know what I do, and this little superintendent truck will be perfect. So now I got 2 trucks, and I'm still missing a bed and a hood. Make a long story short, believe it or not, I come across this bed on eBay in New Mexico. It's a step-side bed with the bolt-on service body boxes. That's what I wanted. Patina matched perfectly, but the guy wants $1,000 for it, and it's in New Mexico. After some communication, he goes, I'll bring it to you. Okay, done deal. So now I've got a bed, I got a cab, I got fenders, I got a Delmo chassis. Things are starting to happen. I do find a hood in a junkyard. It really does. It matches perfectly, but it's got some rust. But I find a hood in a junkyard for $40, and now I've got a complete truck. So I start putting this thing together in my garage. I call Black Rob, and Rob's like, dude, I'm in. So every Saturday, he comes to the house, and we literally put this truck together. I get a used big block motor, clean it up, and get all the way. I get the Acura CVT, the brand, which is unbelievable. Get all the stuff together. AZ Pro Performance gives me brakes. It's all coming together, and I get ready. I'm going to start building it. I'm going to finish it for the get down, and then a couple of weeks before the get down, I go to do a test run in the big block, and it's got a rod knock. And if you want to fall out of love with a project fast, let that motor knock.
Yeah. So you posted a couple sweet teasers, side angles. You do what you do. We could see, the other 5 trucks in the garage. You got a couple angles, and then you sent me I think a video of the motor knocking on your front door, and you kind of just said. I think the key is you're the type of guy where we were so close up against the get down, and I probably would not do this. I respect this about you, but you're like, I'm not taking it with a knock. But you could have.
I could have trailered it out, laid it on the grass. It's a beautiful truck and it's awesome. But there's one reason to build trucks so that everybody else can enjoy them, and then there's a reason to build trucks so you can enjoy them. I like both. I want everybody to enjoy my trucks, but at the same time, I want to enjoy it. And I'm not going to enjoy laying a whole bunch of sheet metal on the grass.
Yeah.
If I can't drive it, it's no fun. So I thought that's fine. I'll shelve it until I find. I gotta fall back in love with it, because if I don't fall back in love with it, I'm not going to be able to work on it. And I think now Jason Bowman.
Yeah,
from ArcLight, he's back.
Big 10.
So I'm going to hit him up and see if maybe he's got a motor for me, or if he wants to help me put a motor in that truck. And
are you thinking? I mean, right now you have a big block.
The big block is too much for that. I'm going to throw the big block out.
Okay, so you're going to LS it?
Yeah, I'll probably do an LS, maybe with some Delmo accessories.
Yeah,
make it look cool.
Yeah. So, maybe that Bowman cam.
Well, what I'll do is I'll probably have Bowman, I'll have him build the motor.
Well, and by the way, for the audience, the superintendent, which is Herb, is literally a very clean truck. The truck he buys at Pomona, that's now does not have the same power plant in it.
Well, so the 5-second version on the superintendent is this, and this is where it becomes
Sam's
a madness.
His own worst enemy.
This is where these trucks, it's like at some point you have to take an out of body experience, and you got to look at it and you got to say, what are you doing? Why are we doing this? So the superintendent, this truck that I buy for a bed and a hood, I end up keeping the truck. It's got a 6-cylinder, 3-speed on the column. Wrench Wars calls me, so I said, okay, well, let me get this thing looking cool. I put a lowering kit on it, C-notch. I redo the 6-cylinder motor because it wasn't running right. It had been sitting since, I think the last time it was registered was 85. So I do a mechanical restoration on it. And if you look on my Instagram, you see that little 6-cylinder was looking good. It was a great looking little truck. So I had it all clean, all ready. Start driving it around. Drove it to LA, did the show. After the show, I'm like, you know what? I can't keep everything. I bring it to good guys to sell it. get a lot of guys interested in it. And that was a Friday. I drive it home that Friday night, and it's not running right. And you know, these integral 6-cylinder engines, what happened was either the head cracked or it warped. The head warped. So now I got a truck with a 6-cylinder with a warped head. I got a cab on the side of the house. I got a frame, but
and C- is sitting in
I got
the
C-, and you know I got a bunch of other stuff. So anyways, so on that one, I said, that's it. I'm not going to fix that 6-cylinder. So I ripped that motor out. I put a nice little junkyard 5.3 in it, low mile junkyard 5.3 in it, LS swap, and instantly now it's my favorite truck.
Yeah.
Because I'm doing 90 on the freeway.
Driver.
Clean, straight, original white patina truck.
For sale. Hit him up.
Yeah, everything's for
Sam
sale.
Castronoova.
The reality is everything's for sale.
Well, I'm not Palo now, right? You want to finish it.
I'll finish it, and then I'll probably sell it.
Down the road.
What am I going to do, you know?
Yeah. So C- is the keeper.
C- is the keeper. I would love to build another C- type truck with a roadster shop chassis. So that's always on the...
Square, or do you care?
You know, for a driver, I like the square. I also like 67, 68.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm going to do it on a roadster shop, I'm going to do a 67, 68, or I'm going to do a square. At the same time, I got Blake, who's got... he's been hitting me up with some 47 to 54 trucks, some real clean ones, because I've always wanted to do something like just an OG 47 to 54, nice and simple, big white walls. So I don't know, 2019. Who knows what could happen?
Stay tuned.
Somehow I'm going to end up with a whole bunch more trucks than I need.
Well, at least we're going to get to see Palo come back. So
Yeah.
Palo Verde, on the door. It was Palo Verde shotcrete. It is beautiful patina. The guys, like some of the workers, the guys were like shooting shotcrete on the side of the door. If you haven't seen it, check out Sam's Instagram. It's worth a look. And the bottom line is, in only Ronnie and Sammy fashion, when I tell you that we're going to do a 5-minute acceptance speech,
right.
Are we at 30 minutes? So we're going to take you out. And I think the thing is stay tuned, because there's always something happening with Sam. And again, I'm honored, and I think it's cool that you won. I'm glad you won. And you're definitely a soundboard for a lot of guys in the community. Not only do we watch what you do, we listen to what you say, and we hit you up. And I think the audience would probably love it if you could come over here maybe once every other week, and I'll get the heater working for now, and then obviously the AC. But we'll catch back up with Sammy. He won, and you just keep doing what you're doing.
Thanks a lot, man.
Let's take you out with
Yeah.
I wonder if you could pull that off again.
No, it's your turn. Come on, it's your turn.
Oh man, okay. We're taking him out, Sammy style.
Nice.
His horse's ass is laying a pile. He's funky fresh. He's lean, he's mean. And his trucks are so damn clean. I'll leave it at that.
We'll take that. We'll take that.
All right, later, C10 Nation.